sync. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Was that a Ricola?
Yeah.
You did, yes.
Oh, we can't have any more of these free product placements. Last episode was Dairy Queen.
Is Ricola even like a thing?
I think the Dairy Queen in Wellington, Kansas saw a serious spike in
it would
interest.
have. Yes.
If it existed still.
There's a petition going around town. It's all the rage.
I was shocked that somebody didn't know what a blizzard was.
Oh, I know.
We got it. We had an excellent question from one of our friends. What's a blizzard? I was like, well,
We are informational and educational.
Yes.
Or
Right.
I don't know what we are.
I think you got.
We are neither.
Right.
We are neither.
We are
of
neither
those things.
of those things.
We're entertainment.
I don't
Entertainment.
speak for yourself. I think a lot of people learn the rules properly by listening to our mistakes.
Right.
That's true.
Yes,
That's
We're
true.
in service to the Pathfinder 2 community.
Very helpful. Very helpful keeping us honest.
Yeah, so, gosh, last episode, Mitch just rolled up. He has rejoined the party along with Knock Knock. And we're discussing off the air right now, who the fuck knows where Bashka is right now. He's just in the tall reeds somewhere, hiding
In the
out.
field somewhere.
I got a new pet crocodile and a bird.
You've already moved on. You've got a new crocodile. You're just heading south.
Mitch actually has a couple history books in the trolley, and if you flip to the pages about like what is it, the Skyfall, like when the like back
Or,
in
or
what is-
Earthfall,
Earthfall, yeah. There's if you look closely, there's a picture of Bashk sitting there.
You're like, oh, holy shit.
Well,
Ash was there.
The pages are rewriting themselves.
Oh, the things he must have seen.
Can I start worshiping Bash now? It's like my deity.
I know. Bash goes and
passed
touches the
test.
Starstone. Yeah.
Who's your deity? Bash Tran.
Bash.
Tran.
We've always liked him when we do him.
Anathema cooking.
That's right.
Oh, man.
He's the god of eating out. He's the god of restaurants.
That's right. That's right. Take out.
Oh.
All right, well, let's get down to business. Let's see here. I'm going to take you guys back.
Back to the future.
Back to... No, we're never doing that again. I'm taking you guys back to the warrior cairn, back to the burial mounds. So let me see if I can find that map. Is that this one?
Nope.
Nope, that's not the one. Is it this one?
Yes.
Hey, all
sure.
right. All right, and we're going to rejoin the party right as Mitch and Knock Knock ride up. Kind of, really as dark has just fallen. So I think you guys kind of pushed a little bit longer than you should have in that trolley.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, I was going to mention too, like Mitch has got to be freaking exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably been up for like 48 hours straight now.
Yes, you have been up a long time. You didn't get to rest right at all. So you've got to be,
Shit. I'm just opening Mike up for an encounter right now.
Yep.
right. Yeah, I think you must have the fatigued condition. Yeah. So Sirio and Dry, you guys look up. You see cresting over this hill the steam trolley.
Hear a big auga from the trolley.
What do you guys do?
I wave.
It's fair.
Is he here yet? Is he on his way?
Yeah, he's approached now. He's here.
I'm gonna
Mitch
walk
is
up
stepping off the trolley.
Slowly,
I'm gonna walk up and
pointing to
put
everybody.
my hands on his shoulders and shake him and be like, "Where the fuck have you been?"
Does Knock Knock attack?
Oh, Knock Knock. All right, let's talk a little bit about Knock Knock.
Friend Knock Knock. Friend.
Yeah, so Knock Knock. You've maybe been talking to him, right?
Yeah. Knock Knock. Friends.
These friends?
All friends. All friends.
Well,
I kind of point like to each of them. I don't really know the new people, I guess. I mean, I recognize Lady Jathel and Tassim. Was that his name?
Tassim.
Tassim. I recognize them, but there's the two people I don't recognize. But I still assume since they're living with their friends, so I point friend and I skip Harim. I don't say friend for him.
why you not say dwarf friend?
Just
Dwarf
to
not
hate.
friend?
Dwarf, okay.
Are you saying that if we meet up with no food, then dwarf is the first one we eat?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Knock Knock. Dwarf friend. Friend.
Oh, he friend.
Crocodile friend. Owl friend. Owl
Oh
friend.
my gosh, he was getting ready to roast that owl.
Yeah. Owl.
We would have been eating knock knock.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but see, yeah, Mitch will get out, and after all that, like, guys, we've got to talk, and like he wants to just brief them on like what happened, but like he's just dead in his feet right now. Like shit's gone down. Like, what have you guys been up to? But like, I'm pretty sure I got you trumped.
Do you decide to rest before filling them in on your experiences, or do you
think just sitting by the campfire, like getting a fresh canteen of water, like getting out of the saddle of the
getting some food,
snack. Getting out of the trolley for a second would probably be enough. I kind of picture us all like sitting around the fire. And
as far as like Jathel, Tassim, and these two other prisoners, we haven't talked about them yet, but Jathel and Tassim, these two other prisoners, are they excluded from this? Tenru and Brun as well, I assume, or are you including everybody?
I think I'm just including Harim, Dry, Sirio, Dundee, and Hoot.
Oh, you're going to explain this to Dundee? And Hoot. Gotcha.
Be like, yeah, dude, where were you?
I have no idea. It was some trippy island with, you'll never believe like what we saw. Like Bashk was there too. Like, have you guys seen Bashk? Has he checked in? Like, where is he?
I was going to ask you if he was with you. Or if you knew where he was, because we have not seen him. You both disappeared at the same time.
Okay. Well, let me fill you in on what happened with us, and so he'll kind of explain the whole thing to his recollection. You know, mentioning something about Druid had some, or Bashk had some experience with the Druid that he needs to. I have no idea what happened there, but just tell him about the island, and then tell him about what was her name? Narissa, and really getting some emphasis on the Lantern King. Like, right. we're being played as puppets, basically.
Yeah, you lay out this situation where Narissa and the Lantern King are both kind of, they've chosen you to create a kingdom and are working behind the scenes to assist you. And, but there's also this detail of Narissa being a prisoner of the Lantern King, I think. The other thing is that you and Bash sort of mutually decided to deploy differently to separate.
Yep. And just explain that, we did that because we thought that we'd be able to cover more ground. It sounds like where I was sent was important for our mission. In hindsight, it doesn't really feel that way. It feels like it was just, maybe. And then wait a second. I kind of look over to Knock Knock and like knowing what an asset he was in a fight. And I was like, maybe there was a reason for where I was sent.
You look over and Knock Knock is looking like he's about to eat the foot of one of the dead wizards.
I mean, that's fine.
He's kind of looking. He's not doing it.
Just give it a good sniff.
I mean, give it a day, right? Yeah, he's kind of sniffing. Not only Knock Knock, but did you save the steam trolley too?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, I saved it from Knock Knock, so it was kind of a...
Is there like blooded chunks of people hanging off the trolley?
Yeah, so I kind of explained that with a kind of a sheepish grin. I was like, well, I used the tools at my hand, so it worked pretty well.
By the way, add 5 Staglord pendants, or rather 3, since 2 got away. Yeah, either Knock Knock would have absconded with the trolley, or Knock Knock would have been killed and the trolley would have fallen into the hands of the Staglord. I mean, it's really one or the other.
Wait, Mitchell, so let me get this straight. You guys were teleported to a purple island and then were separated to go influence events in the past, or...
I don't know, because I don't think Mitch had any experience. Like, I know she kept saying over and over again that time works differently, which makes sense to me.
And I think it's pretty clear to you with the travel time and the distance and everything that you were sent back probably to not long after the party originally left the trolley.
Right. Yep. And everyone that's listening right now has heard like me talk about the dreams in the past. And like, hopefully I'm not coming off as like a complete like psycho or drugged out tweaker.
And you talked to them as well about about what you saw in the shack, or have you maybe left that out? No,
that's kind of like the because I go into like the Lantern King, like just, and I'm explaining like horror, like just hate this, like just hatred, like seeping out of my voice about this guy. And just maybe, being so tired, it's kind of just a ramble of like the Deuce was there, Volmira was there again and again and again. I kept seeing him over and again in the shack, doing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. When you put it that way, it seems pretty horrific.
Yeah.
I say we make a camp and rest here tonight. Let Mitch get some sleep.
Yeah, I need to sleep.
So that discussion ends. Brun the Hell Ripper has nearly unearthed what is beneath the warrior cairn, beneath the burial mound. with not much more work, it is revealed.
What'd we find?
What'd we get?
There is a coffin.
Of course.
A stone coffin down in the earth. And emanating from inside the coffin are 2 magical auras. The coffin is closed.
All right, guys. So what do you think? Mummy, zombie, I don't know.
A lich.
Super plague.
It's a lich.
It's a lich.
It's a lich.
Super plague.
I'm going to look at Jason and be like, friend of yours? Just kidding.
I don't know if Mitch is even like aware enough of it, but like, are there any markings or anything, like any identification marks?
Yeah. There are some carvings, some crenellations. Make a culture check.
I was say, can I make a culture check?
Is that a society?
It's gonna. Bashk isn't there, so you can't roll. But it's going to be Deuce and Vladimir.
Sorry, I've been thinking about Starfinder too.
I know,
Starfinder Enhanced got
well,
announced.
yeah.
I've been thinking about society. Not
I rolled a 19 on my society.
I've got a 23.
So, Dry, it looks familiar to you, maybe some of your book learning that you did at the Aldori Manor, and Mitch helps remind you, and you remember, you're not too far from the realm of the Tiger Lords, sort of band of barbarians that live sort of in the western stolen lands. You don't know much about them, but you wouldn't be surprised if this was the resting place of a barbarian.
Well, this begs the question. Who's going to help me open this thing?
I'm going to give you one more piece of information about this before you make a decision. Not that this is going to dissuade you at all, nor should it. Amiri is formerly of the Tiger Lords.
Oh. She's not with us, is she? No, she's not.
No. I like that we don't know. Is she with us? I don't know where she's at. Well, do you guys want to give it a crack? See what's in there?
I'd check for traps if I were you.
What, me? Check for traps? I don't know who you're talking to right now, Brad. I don't even know. Traps.
So Sirio's kind of torn. On one hand, he's interested in the magical aura and what's in the coffin, but on the other hand, disturbing the dead. I mean, this looks like a final resting place. Like it's a burial mound. Like, I don't know. So I'm kind of Sirio's kind of gonna take a step back and just kind of watch.
Well, I'm asking people's advice. Like, there's only 3 of us.
You said there were 2 magical auras coming from there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where we just let it ride and
Sirius got a good point.
always ask the question, what was behind that door?
Right. Exactly what was behind the counter.
What was behind the counter?
I think years ago I was just making shit up, and I said there was a counter in a Starfinder game with something behind it, and had an NPC say, "Here, take my gun in exchange for not looking behind that counter."
It's the briefcase from Pulp Fiction.
And they took the firearm, and forever have wondered. Do you guys want to know what was behind the counter?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I do.
No, I don't want to know.
I do.
You don't?
No, fucking tell me. No, yeah, yes, tell me. Don't tell me. I don't know.
I will tell you guys someday if it's unanimous amongst the 3 of you. Donnie wasn't. Donnie wasn't in our lives at the time.
That's a good point.
So
he doesn't get one of us. Okay, so Mitch is going to pitch the idea of maybe if we open it respectfully and like don't rifle the shit out of
Desecrate the
it.
grave with respect. I like
Right.
that theory.
Well, we've already dug it up at this point.
I mean, that's valid. We had to help that Braun the Hell Ripper take it out of the ground.
Let's have
We're
Braun
not
open
grave.
it up.
We're not grave robbing. We're grave borrowing. It's
You're inspecting
fine.
the grave. You're inspecting what you.
All right, well, I'm going to roll a thievery check to check for traps. Is that good? Is that what you want?
Just perception.
That's a 16.
You don't see any indication
Fucking dead.
of a trap.
Well, fellas,
Oh God, this is going to bite us in the
I'm
ass.
going to need help lifting this up. It's not like I could just lift up a stone coffin.
Hey, knock, knock. Come here.
Yeah.
Hey, Harim, I got a job for you.
He's like, yes, yes.
Yeah, have them help.
Okay.
Help.
Knock and Herring come up. Oh my God. They're like the canary in the coal mine for you guys. You guys are standing back while Knock and Herring open the coffin.
I just want deniability.
Yeah, so when the lich comes out and be like, who disturbed me, I can just point at Harim and be like, who was that dude?
Knock, knock. What the hell, dude?
Dude, Knock, you just got here, man.
What are you disturbing the dead for?
Knock's like, oh, we taking the lid off a coffin? All right. Herring and Knock make to move the lid. Last chance to stop him.
Nope.
Nope,
Have
let
it
it
place.
happen. I got my bow in my hand, just so you know.
They open it up. Nothing happens initially.
Initially.
The cover is removed and lifted out of the hole, And down at the bottom of this pit that's now been dug in the earth, you see a skeleton lying motionless, wearing tattered hide armor down at the bottom of this coffin.
What kind of check would I have to make it to see if I could recognize the armor he's wearing?
Culture or society.
I don't think a 6 is going to cut it.
How about a 28?
This is a Tiger Lord, man. This is a dead Tiger Lord, long dead. The armor is sort of styled in that way. It's decorated as they would decorate it. This was a warrior of the Tiger Clan.
Oh, God, I feel like I'm doing something wrong here.
Definitely feel like I'm doing something wrong.
Sirio, as you continue detecting magic here, you don't detect any magic emanating from the corpse itself, but rather from a ring that the corpse is wearing, and from a weapon sheathed at the hip of the corpse.
I feel like those could be useful, but I mean, since the guy's wearing them, they're his, so I don't know.
Can I identify him without taking him off?
Unfortunately, no. The weapon itself is sheathed. It looks to be the size of a dagger, though.
All right, boys, put the lid back on. Let's bury this guy.
Just leave him how he is.
Well, let's
rebury him. I just feel like Dry feels that, and if we take or do anything, it's going to be completely disrespectful to a warrior, and I just won't do that.
And now that we know that this is
Lord.
Tiger Lord stuff, and we know that Amiri's associated with him, once we get back in contact with her, we can kind of see what the procedure is on this, if this would be useful, and we could send her on a mission to come recover these artifacts.
Right. Maybe that's in their culture, is to dig up graves of their ancestors whenever they find them.
I believe you, Brad. I believe you're correct on that.
Well, at least we'll have more info once we talk to her. So.
Absolutely. No, I think that's the wise course, and I think I'll actually have, let's get Hellripper back here to kind of paddle the dirt back in.
To run the Hellripper sighs annoyingly.
If Bash was there, he would suggest we ask Tinru if we know why the Technic League was trying to dig up this grave.
That'd be helpful if he was here. It'd be really helpful if he was here. Bash.
I'll allow the metagame. I'll allow it.
I'm glad Bash has ESP. Taking that into our heads.
God, you guys, you know what? I was just thinking about Bash. You know what he would probably ask?
You know what Bash would say if you were here? What she'll be able to tell you is that this is her second time being here, obviously, right? Because they established this sort of camp and then went deeper into the Stolen Lands. They noted, just like you, they detected the artifacts underneath here. They just noted that the Technic League is always down to liberate magic items and equipment wherever they might find it. So they added this as to their to-do list, basically, while that they were here. She doesn't really opine one way or another on, would this be right or wrong? And she doesn't know much about the Tiger Clan. What she does know is that you are outside of the Tiger Land, the Tiger Clan lands. That this body is far away from where the Tiger Clan resides. So she doesn't see a lot of risk in it, obviously, unless you're superstitious.
I think superstition. I think it's more of just respect.
No, she doesn't know the meaning of that word.
Yeah, clearly. I guess I vote that we rebury him, and check with Amiri when we get back.
Roll a perception check.
Who?
Everybody.
12.
11.
We're not very perceptive.
Ooh, we got a 26.
Nice.
Hey.
Sirio, you catch it in the corner of your eye, back behind you. Jathel is watching you guys, and you've never seen such an eye roll. Never in your life. She's just like, oh my God.
Kind of seeing her reaction to this, I straight up ask her, is like, well, what would you do in this situation?
No one's here. No one's seen us. There's no risk.
Yeah.
Do you have no respect for the dead, or any rituals or rites from funerals?
No. If these fools decided to waste good power by putting it into the ground, then they deserve to have it taken.
Well, you're rather cold, aren't you? Pun intended.
Figuratively and physically.
She shrugs. Do what you will, but I'll take them if you won't. If you'll allow me.
I feel like Mike really wants us to take these.
I'm not going to take moral guidance or moral hints from the undead cultist. So I think
from
I
the
will
evil
continue.
undead cultist.
Right.
So Jathel said she's going to take him if we don't.
If you
If you
let
let her. If you let her, she'll do it. She's like, I'll take him.
I mean, I feel like Mike wants us to have these, so maybe we let Jathel take them.
Mike wants us to fucking wake up the lich that's laying in his coffin
Yes,
right now
I know.
at peace.
Well, kind of after discussing and talking with Jathel about this, Sirio, before we bury him, we'll go down and remove the ring. And what'd you say, the
sword.
There's a
dagger?
There's a dagger,
Dagger.
at the hip of the sword. And by the way, there's mundane equipment in here too. There's like a broken down, like large-sized greatsword down here, but it's like of poor quality and it's deteriorating. And the hide armor, of course, is useless. And there's like, you know what I'm saying? There's other stuff in here too.
Yep, and also remove the dagger and the sheath. Get back out of the hole and mention when we get back to Oleg's trading post and discuss this with Amiri, then we'll decide what to do with these items.
Now that it's out of the hole, yeah, I can take a quick look at it.
Now that it's not us that took them, it's more than happy to take a glance and see what's going on.
That is a 22 Arcana.
Okay, get ready.
Oh, fuck.
The dagger is a +1 dagger, and it sort of has this filmy substance over the blade. The blade is sharp, okay? We would think of this as like a razor blade almost. I mean, this thing is like beautiful, and it has not been dulled by time. And you know it to be wrapped in the still undead skin of a ghast.
What?
While you wield this dagger, you gain a +1 status bonus to all saves against paralysis. Once per hour, you can activate this dagger with a single action. When activated, this dagger afflicts the next living target struck by the dagger with a terrible wound that emits the foul stench of the grave. For the next minute, the target creature, as well as any creatures within a 10-foot emanation, must succeed at a DC 16 Fortitude save or become sickened 1, plus slowed 1, as long as it's sickened on a critical failure. So if they roll a 6 or down, they get slowed 1 as well.
Oh my god.
While within the emanation, the creature takes a -2 circumstance penalty to saves against disease and to recover from the sickened condition itself. A creature that succeeds at its save is temporarily immune for 1 minute. So to put this into better perspective, if you stab someone with this or throw it at someone, they become the source of a 10-foot emanation that makes people have to roll this fortitude save or become sickened or slowed 1 if they critically fail. So it's like, it's cool.
That's crazy.
This item is called a Ghast Stiletto. This item was added recently in the Treasure Vault book, and I just thought it looked cool. This is a level 3 dagger.
Wow.
It's worth 60 gold pieces.
I don't know if there's any of us that would use that dagger, but that's really freaking cool. Like if we,
I wouldn't.
I mean, can we give it to an NPC?
I mean, Syria would. You can use daggers, right, Chris?
I mean, I know how, but if I'm close enough to use a dagger, something's wrong.
I'd give it to Knock Knock, but I'm afraid he'd use it on one of us at
Yeah,
some
you'd
point.
get stabbed right away. He'd be like, "What does this do?" Chink.
Oh my god, is that a knock-knock weapon?
It kind of
That
is.
could be what's
It
the other
sounds
one?
like a roguish type.
Could be a Micmac weapon.
Could be a Micmac weapon, too. Yeah.
Let's have him fight for it.
Just throw it in between them, be like, "Winner gets it."
Yeah, I'd put money on Micmac.
I don't know.
Micmac's a badass.
Knock Knock.
Micmac is a badass. Oh, but man, knock-knock, though.
dirty.
Shit.
I can't wait to get those two in the same room.
Oh, I know. Bill, you'll have to be one off to be the other, because when I play Micmac and Knock Knock, it's just the same person. You know, I'm having trouble differentiating them. One says friend, and the other doesn't say that, and that's the difference between them. The ring is carved from green wood. It bears carvings of tigers chasing each other through grasslands and forests. This is called a Ring of the Tiger. It kind of seems to be like a club ring for the Tiger Clan. Rings of the Tiger are traditionally crafted by Kelids in northeastern Avestan and are worn by scouts or explorers. Many barbarians in these regions react poorly to anyone obviously not part of their people who dare to wear such a ring. But ironically, they've been known to gift these rings to outsiders who have proven their worth, potentially setting up a further clash in the future, you think, if you encounter a group of Kelids that aren't familiar with how you might have gained the right to wear the ring, if at all. The Ring of the Tiger grants a +1 item bonus on stealth checks and perception checks made in outdoor wilderness areas, and it can be activated to momentarily transform the wearer's hand into a tiger's claw.
Oh my god.
This is a 1-action interact. Looks like you can just do it over and over. There's no limit. The requirement is that you aren't carrying anything in the hand on which the ring is worn. The effect of this is that your hand becomes a tiger's claw, granting you an agile claw unarmed attack that inflicts a d6 of slashing damage, and then you make a strike with the claw. Then the claw turns back to normal. So in a single action, you create the claw over your hand and then slash with it. And it's basically like you just have a weapon permanently in that hand. Basically, it's like a weapon in the form of a ring.
That's pretty
And as
sweet.
long as your hand is empty, you can strike with it.
Again, that's a Micmac or a knock-knock weapon. I mean, I would wear it. I'm not
Or
gonna
Donnie.
lie.
You could
Ooh,
see,
Donnie.
Yeah.
could see a Bashk wearing that.
Well, Donnie's already
that's-
got claws, though.
Yeah, Bash
Yeah,
has
it's
already
like
got
he's already
claws
got
on
them. They're built in.
So this is a Ring of the Tiger. Maybe not terribly useful, but yeah, it kind of
pretty
seems
cool.
to be like a Tiger
a-
Clan thing.
It's a +1 perception bonus. I mean, just
Well, that's
for,
true.
for just
And
a ring
stealth.
you have to wear. And stealth.
Yeah, stealth and perception checks made in outdoor wilderness areas, which you never come across. in
Somebody
Game
should wear
Raiders.
that. I mean, well, okay. Then
Let's
it's
get
just
back
like-
and see
Yeah,
what Amiri
Amiri.
says.
Yep.
The Ring of the Tiger is worth 160 gold pieces.
Oh,
Let's go into the pawn shop on the way back to see Amiri.
I'll stop by the pawn shop.
To the pawn shop with that one.
I can give you 10 gold.
Yeah.
Best I can do, 10 gold.
Best I can do.
I gotta put it on my shelf. I gotta stock it. Then I gotta research it. I mean,
You haven't even had it
auction
graded.
house fees. Man.
So you guys are sitting around looking at this stuff, and you're getting ready to go for the night. It's not that you've ignored them. Maybe you've even exchanged some words with them, but you haven't interacted that much with these other two prisoners that you liberated alongside Jathal and Tassim. And you've noticed that the two of them stay close to each other, right? They don't tend to leave each other's side. It looks like they have some kind of a connection, or at least they trust each other. But eventually, the woman will approach Sirio during a quiet moment, maybe after the loot discussion, and as Brun the Hellripper is putting the soil back in the hole to cover the grave up. And she approaches Chris, your character, and she says, she's kind of got this tiny, kind of high, kind of rubbery, bouncy voice, but she doesn't speak in a bouncy manner. She says, "Excuse me, sir, but I thought I would introduce myself to you. I'm Octavia, and over there is Ragonger. Thank you for dispatching those technically slavers. They were going to take us back to Numeria. I'm sure you already know that. Well, we appreciate what you've done. We don't know what's going to happen to us now."
Well, it was our pleasure to rescue you, because
Have a
we
good day.
know some other guys that were in that chain gang, and we're not about slavers. So anyone being captured and put into slavery, we definitely want to liberate them. So as far as where you guys are going to go, we're recruiting people to help tame this wilderness out here. And if you guys are able and willing, we'd be able to take you on, get you set up, and provide for you guys as long as you help out.
We'd like a safe place to be, and we'd earn our keep. Neither of us have a home. We have nothing. And that's the truth. I mean, they're just wearing mundane clothing, and they have no equipment, no nothing.
Now, when you say you can handle yourself in a scrap, like what can you guys do? Are you kind of getting up there in the mix and whacking people with weapons, or what are you doing?
She says, "I see you're talented in the way that I am. Well, but different though, aren't you? My spellbook was taken and destroyed. If I can create a new one, then I am able to. I'm what you might call a wizard. Ragonger, on the other hand, is known as a magus."
So you said they're like wearing like scraps for clothes or whatever?
Yeah, just kind of mundane stuff. I mean, they're just wearing kind of what they came with, you know what I'm saying? So it's not quite togas, but you know what I'm saying.
I'm going to point to the stack of dead people and be like, why don't you guys get yourself something nice to wear?
Wendell was wearing a ruined robe too, which I don't know if we ever
Yeah,
identified.
that could be easily adjusted
Yeah.
to fit Octavia. This brings me to something that I've been meaning to bring up for a while, and I don't think this came through clearly. I think when we leveled, but Sirio is actually not interested in those robes because you took the rogue archetype at second level, right?
I did, yes, and had Mitch, while we were traveling and in some downtime, craft some leather armor. Since I gained the light armor proficiency.
Yeah, same armor classes +1 robes. And I remember listening back and being like, he's not proficient in leather armor. Oh, yeah, he is. That's right. But then I was listening and I realized we hadn't really made it clear to our listeners, probably through my editing, that you'd taken the rogue archetype. So all this time, you've been a little roguish, a little rougish.
Yep, and I guess in addition to that, also picked up 2 skills, the stealth and thievery skills on proficiency.
Nice.
Yeah, I have those too.
Like a good backup for that, which is really nice to have.
Sneaky sorceress. I don't like the sounds of that at all.
You don't like a sneaky sorcerer with diplomacy, deception?
Oh,
He could just stealth and then appear with a fireball. You're like, wait a minute.
Glad I'm on your team.
Wait a minute.
You know. And
so I mean, Octavia, I don't know too much about your spellcasting tradition. I just innately know how to perform magical acts. As far as getting you a spell book, I don't know a whole lot about that.
Oh, but Wendell has a spell book, so she could probably copy his spells into her own book, or maybe even begin using that.
If Knock Knock didn't take it and use it for toilet paper already.
Oh God, you look over and Knock Knock is using magic missile to wipe his ass. She's like, oh,
that was a good one.
That was a good one. That's a good page. Knock Knock's like,
yeah, it was.
You friend? He's like, what are you looking at, friend? Give me some privacy.
So yeah, I guess during this discussion, I'm trying to determine whether she's sincere or just kind of bluffing at being, a cowering, kind of terrified person who's just been rescued.
Right. Make a perception check as you're talking to her.
Put the ring on first.
19.
Yeah, I mean, good roll, No, I mean, she seems sincere.
Yeah, so really it's more like a practical solution for them. It's like, well, we got to do something because if we stay out here, we're toast.
Mm-hmm. Basically, right. I mean, this is self-preservation for sure. You guys seem strong, competent. You've got a fucking minivan, like they're ready to throw in with you. But this doesn't appear to be born out of any match in ideology. It's more just as you said, you seem like good people. They've probably learned through context clues you've got a nice safe place to be, and they're interested in that and are willing to work with you.
Well, I'm all for you guys joining up, but I need to consult with some other people, and I'll be back with you here in probably 5-10 minutes.
That's Chris's customer service voice, by the way. I'll be right back with you in 5 to 10 minutes. Let me
Put you on the
5 to 10 minutes?
Yeah, I say they tag along with us. I mean, Mitch will point out that the trolley's a 6-seater, so there's going to be, we'll have a rotation of people walking with this many people. But yeah, Mitch, hearing that she's a wizard and that he's a magus, and then Tassim, who we haven't even really talked about, Mitch is super interested in to know more about him. It's selfishly, I'd love to talk to them and learn more about their craft.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, we haven't even talked much about Tassim. See, we've got a boatload of people in this party right now.
Yeah, we got a summoner, we got a wizard, we got a magus, there's
so many people here right now. We got Sirio, we got Dry Colmay, we got Harim, we got Mitch, we got Tenru and Brun, we got Raganger and Octavia, Tassim, and Jathel, and fucking Hoot and Dundee. So I'm out of control at this point.
Knock Knock.
Oh, and Knock Knock, whose token I fucking left off. Hang on, let me go get Knock Knock's token. How can I properly visualize any of this if I don't have Knock Knock's token here?
So I'm going to kind of situate myself in between Sirio and Mitchell. And we're going to have a real close conversation with just the three. Get him out of here.
Sorry, I plopped Knock Knock right down there.
Friend.
Fran. Hey, what's up, Fran? What you guys talking about, Fran?
I'd like to think over the drive that Knock Knock and I are pretty good pals at this point.
And I'm going to pull them close in and be like, hey, we have to find Bashk.
Yeah.
That has to be the next thing.
I say we head back to Oleg's with this whole crew. I mean, if Bashk I would think he would meet us there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd think.
You would think. He's now a deity. in space somewhere. He's been transitioned into Starfinder right now.
And from the crowd, somebody goes, "I feel like you should approach the trade post from the south."
From the south. Bash is wandering around to the south.
Yeah, and on that same line about kind of just meeting back up at Oleg's, I feel we should retrace our exact path.
Exactly.
Not kind of stray off it, just in case, like you, Mitchell, when you were projected into the area with the trolley, maybe he was projected into the area somewhere else along our path.
Right.
We may run into him.
That's good deduction.
Yeah.
Are all of us going to fit in the trolley?
No, there's only room for 6. So we're going to walk.
Not counting. Well, you got to put Dundee in there too because he's too slow. Otherwise, he's only got a speed of 20 feet, and so does Herring for that matter.
Put him on the roof.
So Herring and Dundee take up 2 of the spots.
I'm just gonna jog next to it or walk or whatever.
Yeah.
Hoot and I are gonna kind of like get out in front and just kind of like scout a little bit while we're traveling.
I would say that Sirio might try to get into the co-pilot seat, but Knock Knock is probably not going to let that happen at this point. I don't know if you guys can talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, and Sirio has a thing about upholstery. Like if it's ripped, I'm not sitting on a ripped seat.
Well, there we go.
I don't know. My family's in the business of tailoring and fine linens and cloth and leatherworking. So it has to look grosses me out.
Horrible.
I'm just picturing Sirio stepping onto the trolley the next morning to find Knock Knock with his bloody toothy grin, like sitting in the co-pilot seat, and all of the upholstery just obliterated throughout the
springs sticking out of the seats.
Yeah, springs and fluff, and it's just it is destroyed. Like it's destroyed.
And Mitchell kind of walk up, looking down at the ground, not making eye contact with Sirio. Yep, I know. We'll figure it out.
I know.
It's all right. I could use the exercise.
We'll draw the curtain on this. What I will tell you is that you will have an uneventful trip back to Oleg's. Although, gridded out there, Chris, how many days it's going to take you. But as you retrace your steps, it is unlikely that you will see anything of note on your way back.
Nice.
In the last few minutes of this episode, I want to revert back 2 weeks into the past to Bashk, as he, with his left hand, is holding his pants up, as he's walking, sort of speed walking through the brush. At this point, maybe about a half mile south of the trade post. I want to tell you something, Donnie. I was so fucking proud of you for walking out and, taking me off my,
yeah, you're welcome.
Taking me off my, my rails. I thought, here's what I thought. I thought that you would, kick back and chill at the trade post, for 2 weeks.
Well,
wait till they get back.
So here's what I've thought about it since, right? And yes,
Sure,
to just keep walking south was just a spur of the moment thing that was funny.
It was hilarious.
But
it's downhill, so it's easier.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And I'm waddling, right? All that stuff. So, but he's still 2 weeks behind.
Yeah.
Like if it took him 2 weeks to walk here, I'm still 2 weeks behind them in time. Like,
well. Yeah, so you're gonna wait there a month for them probably to come back to you, basically.
But time I don't think works that way, right? Like I can't catch up with anything that is 2 weeks ahead of me ever.
You can't catch up with them, but you can wait at the trade. You can wait the 30 days at the trade post for them to
come back.
So we're in the same timeline now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yes.
it's them from 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
That are gonna come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No
event has to happen to bring me back to present time, right?
Apparently not. That's
okay.
not what I was thinking.
All right.
Apparently not.
You're
Apparently
the GM, so you control it. It just
Am I not doing time travel the right way?
I just want to know, I think this is all smarter than me discussion right now, but I want to know how Bash gets back into the trade post. Like if he goes back over the rampart wall.
I've been thinking about that as well.
We've established that he's fast.
Yeah, we did. We did establish that he is
fast.
very fast.
Did somebody make you popcorn?
I don't know. I hope so.
Well, I enjoyed that very much.
But yeah, because Bash he's had some time to think, right? That's how when you're walking through a field with your pants being held up, or holding your pants up, you get time to think. I think he wants to question the 3 turncoats, right?
Of course.
I think Donnie has a suspicion who they're working for. Bashk has no idea. He just knows that we need to suss this out.
Right.
There's been there's a lot of people that we don't know very well, and I think Bash is going to get real nervous when if he's at the trade post and the crew walks in with all these new people he's never seen before, because who's a spy? Who's a spy? Who's a traitor? Who's here to kill Lindsay? Why were they targeted? Like, there's lots of questions running through Bash's mind. He had to get some space, though, to work that out.
And to tag along that, I don't want to get too meta here, but we tasked them to do stuff, right? To, like, go to that herbalist place and deliver letters and do some stuff.
Exactly.
So if they've turned, like, none of that's going to happen.
None of that happened.
And the letters that you wrote to your family and stuff were not delivered. And
was there anything vital, important to any missions that were in those letters that are now in hands we don't want to know?
We were supposed to get the reagents for that spell,
for
that ritual.
Yeah,
potion.
For that ritual, right.
Fuck.
Right.
Should have gone ourselves.
Well, let me just let me interject, because something is going to happen.
Oh, good.
As you're standing around out here in the
doing the Travolta in the field.
Yeah, as you're standing around looking around.
Yeah.
A voice from a few hundred feet away. Hey, Bashk. And you look over to see Valerie walking toward you. Valerie, who witnessed you leaving the post, has caught up to you, has gone after you. And she approaches you, and she holds her hand up, as if to say, don't say anything. And this is what she tells you. She says, Bashk, Trand. I can't believe I'm going to do this all in Valerie's smoker voice, but it's canon. Bashk, Trand, I trust you. You've never given me a reason not to trust you. I trust you now. But I think we both know that you're acting legitimately weird right now. You rushed back into the post. I've talked to Keston. I've talked to everyone. Came over the wall, snuck in, then snuck down, and were there just in time to head off this attack on Lindsay. All I want to know is what's going on.
Can I roll a perception check just to see if it seems like it's on the up and up?
Yeah, of course.
He's a little spooked. Natural 16 for a total of 27.
This is fucking Valerie, man. She's a straight shooter. I don't know if you would know her alignment. Maybe by now you would. She is lawful neutral.
Yeah.
She is like totally, I trust you, you trust me. She's the type of person that's like, do not lie to me, Yeah. Never give me a reason to doubt you. And she's loyal, right? I mean, you know her well at this point.
Yeah, so I think Bash kind of stares at her for a second. Mentally says, "No, this is she's legit asking," and he kind of goes in and explains all the weird shit that's happened to him over the last few days, and he says, "Valerie, the last thing I knew, I was transported to the top of the rampart and watched myself and my friends do what we did 2 weeks ago, and leave the outpost. And out of the corner of my eye, right, I explained seeing Lindsay and these 3 go into the bunkhouse, which I thought was odd, and something told me I need to investigate that. And you kind of know the rest. And the reason I fled was I didn't know how to explain this, and suspicions were already aroused by all the oddness that was going on. But I fully trust you. I hope you believe me."
She just kind of sits down for a moment, and she just goes, "Whoa." She's like, I'll help you. But she is thinking through, I can corroborate your story that you snuck in.
And I think he cuts her off. He says, "Valerie, I don't want you to have to lie for me. If we get back, I will explain, and hopefully the group comes back here. And I believe Mitchell can help explain the veracity of my story, because he too was transported to a weird purple island, and there was a whole lot of weird stuff. You know, I don't know where he is. I have no idea. I can only assume he's been transported somewhere else as well. But hopefully he shows back up.
You guys want to know something cool? I just natural 20'd a recall knowledge check on Valerie for the Stag Lord. I'm sorry, for the Lantern King.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
She looks at you and she says, I've heard of the Lantern King.
You'll get to know him better, I suspect, because he seems to be decided to intertwine himself in our fate.
What she'll tell you is, if the stories that I've heard of him are true, do not trust him. Do not ever do what he tells you to do.
Yeah, and I think Bashk would explain. He has not personally met with the Lantern King, but he's not high on his list of individuals that he is looking to put his trust in at this point.
She says, have you ever considered that he's listening to this right now?
No, but I probably should have. Yeah, I assume as much as he's intertwined, it makes sense. Once she says that, Bashk kind of nods his head, and yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how I didn't think of it before. He seems to be there at opportune or inopportune times, where he either knows what's going to happen or is watching closely to intervene.
And she locks eyes with you, and you realize this is the last she'll ever utter anything about him.
Wow.
And that you need to figure out a different way to communicate.
About this topic?
About anything that you may or may not want him to know.
Ah, gotcha.
Pig Latin.
She motions.
Pig Latin. Ixnay on the Antern Lake Inke.
Antern Lake Inke.
That'll do it.
And she just motions for you to follow her back.
Yeah. So I think he, waistband in hand, follows along.
She's like, let me get you a piece of
borrow
rope,
belt.
for the love of God.
Oh, that's great.
And he's still fatigued. We're going on 3 weeks now that I've had a fatigue character, so he's actually really excited to get back to the outpost and catch some Z's. He is dead on his feet, and yeah.
Can I just say that it is totally legitimate that Bashk would be like, I need to leave.
Yeah.
And leave. I get it. Again, because we were talking about last week, he doesn't have a concept for any of this,
no,
right? You know what I'm saying?
And like I said, the one experience similar to this he had, he went and did what Narissa said, hey, we need to save this person, and then he came back, and then maybe it was time travel, I don't know, was that future, past, present? I have no idea where that other druid was, right? So yeah, he was expected, okay, I did what you wanted, and what happens now? So yeah, it's a trip for sure.
Yeah, so you and her return back to the camp. You kind of see that she's sort of becoming this second in command, or not second, maybe a fifth in command, right?
Yeah.
For the four of you. She just looks at the others and she'll just sort of not necessarily play it off, but she'll just sort of have this ho-hum attitude about, that you're back now. And of course there are some quizzical looks from the others, but then you hear Keston's voice carrying from over by the refuse pits, and he's just like, "Why? How could you guys do this? My gosh, guys! Oh, I'm so disappointed in all of you. I'm just so disappointed in all of you. I'll never financially recover from this."
Yeah, from Tiger Lord to Tiger King, very nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's good segue. Yeah, and I think, like I said, Bashk wants to get sleep, but he also wants to go in and he wants to start questioning. Who are you working for? Who are you serving, etc.
Yeah. So Bob, Rob, and Todd are now in the late afternoon sun, are tied up. They're tied up by the refuse pits. They all three of them just kind of look blankly and just sort of detached almost. They're just kind of sitting there. And they're not even reacting to Keston as he finger wags them.
Yeah. So which one actually had the knife to Lindsay's throat? Was that
Bob?
Bob. So I think he starts with Bob and wants to know, why were you trying to kill Lindsay? And he'll start with just asking and see where that gets him.
He just looks up at you kind of blankly, and he just says, "The dreams. The dreams.
What dreams?
Wouldn't stop.
Were there any Were there any figures in your dreams?
No, just dreamt every night visions of killing her over and over. And an understanding that if we did it, emotions to the others, that they would stop. And then Rob and Todd both sort of pipe up, and it becomes apparent that they would eventually realize that all three of them were having these awful reoccurring dreams. And it's when they finally realized amongst each other that all three of them were having these dreams that they reached a decision as to what needed to be done. The violence, you don't understand. You can't understand. It was truly awful. I'm sorry for what we did. I'm sorry. But our dreams will never stop now. They're just the toll that this has taken on them now becomes apparent, like on their mental health, right?
Sure. And as empathetic as I am to the plight of your awful, awful dreams, I think he would press more for more, like, is it you? Is it your family? Like, what is so awful and terrible about these dreams?
We sleep every night in pain, anguish in our heads. The only relief, we believe, was to end her life.
What gave you that idea? Was it told to you in the dreams that killing Lindsay would do this? Did you see it happening in the dreams?
Todd kind of will talk at this point. He says, no, not in words, just feelings. I can't explain it. You don't know until you've experienced it.
All right. Well, he turns to Keston and says, we need to leave them tied up. And if you remember more about your dreams, when these dreams started, any more specifics, we want to know. But for right now, you're staying under lock and key. You obviously can't be trusted.
Well, and Rob will say, he says the way it works is that every night we dream of how we would do it the next day. And every day we see the opportunity in our dreams that our dreams told us. We dreamt that she would go to the bunkhouse. We dreamt that we followed her there. The day before, we dreamt a different dream that told us how to do it that day.
So what was different of this day that you actually went through it? All three of you decided to go through with it this day.
We realized this morning all three of us were all together having the dreams.
They finally got together and talked about it and realized that this was a shared experience that they were having.
Yeah, men don't talk enough about their mental health struggles with each other.
They really don't.
We're all nodding sagely at each other right now.
Nice PSA, guys. Hey, it's okay not to be okay.
Let's move on and kill some shit. Let's go.
Go get help, right?
There's always vodka.
There's always alcohol.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know that. I think Bash, they kind of just keep repeating themselves. I don't know that there's more that we can glean now.
You're not getting the context clues from their stories of like Lantern King or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything that clues in. I mean, in Bash's mind, it's got to be connected, right? And it's got to be something with why Lindsay's still got this power, right, left on her. Is that offensive to the Lantern King? And that power can't be returned until she's dead or he interferes somehow. So, I mean, Bash is, grasping at straws here. He's exhausted. He's been through some crazy shit. He doesn't disbelieve what these three are saying. But
do you leave them?
Yeah, he's gonna go back to the bunkhouse and he's gonna go to sleep. Tell Keston and Valerie to please keep an eye, and I'm gonna go get some rest.
All right, you go to sleep. The night passes without incident. I think I want to end today with understanding what Bash is going to do for the next. I mean, you reasoned that if you fell back 2 weeks, then you got to know that you probably have 4 weeks to yourself, either of downtime or whatever. We got some things that Bob, Rob, and Todd were supposed to do. We have Valerie and crew were supposed to be doing some reconnoitering, or you could simply remain here. What's it going to be?
I think Bash would actually try to enlist maybe up to three companions here, right? Make sure that the triplets of evil are contained. But actually,
triplets of evil.
Yeah, actually start retracing. I mean, he knew where they were going 2 weeks ago. He has no idea that they're headed back this way, right? And he's legit worried that they could be in trouble. So I think he would actually, like, we need to go out and see if they need help. I can't just kick back here and hope for the best.
So you're hoping to meet them.
Yeah.
To find them.
Go out and try to find them and take the path that they were taking.
You never learned the whole like hug a tree when you're lost thing, did you?
No.
This is so interesting because at this point, you're really only a day behind them. You could push hard and maybe catch up.
We catch up to
which we know
would be bad.
Catch up to other Bashk.
Yeah. So that's where my time travel issue comes up. Like if I move fast enough 2 weeks in the past, I'm going to catch up with the 2 weeks ahead of me until Bashk disappears, and then I can stay with that group until Mitchell shows back up. I don't know that's what's going to... Donnie knows that would happen, but there's no way I could meet them coming back. I mean, right?
think of it this way. You're in two places at once right now. You're not 2 weeks behind them. You're concurrent with them.
Right.
There's two of you.
Yeah.
And Bashk Prime
is getting ready to disappear.
Will disappear forever during the twig fight.
Yeah.
And then we'll be left with a single Bashk in the timeline.
Well, shit, I kind of want to catch up with the group now and just have two Bashks and just see how that works out.
Give a heart attack.
Let's do that. I think you got to do that. Let's have Mike play that out for us. I think that would be kind of fun.
I just don't think Bashk, with everything that's happened, can just be content to
wait around.
Stay at the trade post. Yeah.
If you were able to aid yourself
unless
in
it's
camping checks,
is there any way to send a message? There's no way to communicate with them, right? It's, as far as I know, they're all dead. Like I literally have no idea.
You don't know. All you know is that Narissa was like, "It's looking good."
Yeah.
During the twig fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And really, unless it's just you, I think the only person you could bring is Valerie.
Maybe you and Valerie.
Without coming up with a good story on why we all need to go in a hurry, right? So it'd just be me and Val, buddy copping it through the stolen lands.
So you're trying to catch your old self.
No, I don't. His intention is not to catch his old self, right? His intention is to find the group, right? I don't think that he's putting together that, I could catch up with Bashk Prime.
And really, you know exactly when you disappeared, and so you could plan a route to get to the twig fight.
Taking a different route.
2 weeks. Yeah, you don't have to shadow.
That's true.
Yourself for 2 weeks.
But then he would be with us through that everything else.
Right. Yes.
She wasn't.
Which he wasn't. And I'm not re-recording all those episodes.
That we knew of. Maybe if we had higher...
I'm not re-recording all those episodes.
Maybe if we had higher perspective checks or... we would have seen perception. Yeah, we would have seen him.
You would have seen. You just didn't see him. Yeah. You just missed him. The other alternative.
You get to the twig fight spot and just hang out.
Yeah. The other alternative that Bashk may think of is can he figure out a way to contact Narissa? Right. She kind of seems to know what's going on, and she did repeat time works differently here. So seeking, I don't know, Narissa, what the hell?
It seems as though the way to contact Narissa is to utter her name and speak. I mean, if what Valerie says is true,
that the Lantern King is listening, right?
Maybe
so. It's risky, yeah. So yeah, I think while he'll maybe take that as a first effort, right? When he's in that bunkhouse, right? He's Narissa. If you really are listening, I'm not sure what to do. Any help you can offer.
Right.
I'm all ears.
You wait a beat, and another, and another.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Maybe if we wait outside the south wall.
Worth a try.
Right. Is she in the south field looking for me? Did I miss her?
I think I like this plan of yours.
Heading north and following our tracks.
I think that's interesting. Sure. I mean, I understand. It's so funny because I'm stuck in the meta game of all of this.
Right.
I know everyone's fine, but
Bashk has no idea.
Bashk has no idea and has to be worried about his party.
Yeah.
So I do think that makes sense to me. You and Valerie, that next morning, will leave the camp.
All right.
About a day behind the trolley. So what this means is that throughout the last 4 or 5 weeks of recordings, Bashk spent a day behind.
Yep.
This whole time.
Picking through the rubble.
He would have caught up at the same time Mitchell would have.
Maybe not long after. No. maybe not long after. So what I think maybe what happens is, and we can fill in the blanks, but it's, with two companions traveling, it could be tough going. Maybe you ran into some things. Maybe you had a scuffle or two out there in the midst of everything. But what I will tell you is that the morning that the folks at the burial mound wake up to load up into the trolley and to head back to Oleg's, you see on the horizon Bashk Trand and Valerie walking toward you.
I'm just gonna throw Hoot off my arm towards them so he can just go double check.
Double check.
Oh my god!
Double check.
Well, so I think Dundee like jumped up from not prone because he can never be prone, but he jumps up and he sprints off as fast as little crocodile legs can take him.
Oh yeah.
He knows right away that this is Bashk. He knows.
That's right. That morning. Yeah.
Mitch is probably standing on top of the trolley like Forrest Gump when he's on the boat and sees his head dad like waving.
Waving. And
Dry is also going to start sprinting towards Bashk.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So Valerie. Yeah. So you guys all meet.
Yeah.
And
Bash Bash singles out Mitchell. And he's obviously, shaking hands and hugging and happy, but he locks eyes with Mitchell and just goes, "We think he's listening. Be careful what you say."
And Mitch hadn't even thought of that. And so his jaw is just like, fuck.
Dry's going to go, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?"
Remember last night at the campfire? I was telling you about intern Inke?